Hi everybody! Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be learning how to make a clay dinosaur. So this dinosaur was made out of Sculpey, which is a type of polymer clay, which is a clay that can be baked in the oven. So not like Play-Doh. Similar to Play-Doh because it's colorful, but you can bake it so that it hardens the clay. When you first work with it, it's really squishy, and then you can bake it to make it hard. So Sculpey 3 is the type of clay we're using today, and we're going to make a brown dinosaur. You get to open a brand new package. How great is that? Ta-da! So we're going to snap 1/4 of this package off. Yes, nice clean break. Isn't that the best feeling in the whole world? This clay is particularly hard. I can feel that it's really hard. It must be a little older, so I'm going to warm it up. No matter how old the clay is, you still have to warm it up. It's called conditioning the clay, and what it does is it makes it really soft and squishy. If it looks crumbly or if it cracks really easily like that, then it needs a lot of conditioning. So to condition it, you squeeze the clay in your hands. Pretend you're mad, go grrr, and squeeze really hard. Or blow it in, or blow on it with your warm breath. And just keep squishing and playing with it until it gets really, really soft like bubble gum. Alright, but don't eat it. Do not put it in your mouth. This does not taste good. Kind of looks like chocolate, doesn't it? Okay, now that it's getting squishier, I know I'll be able to work with it a little easier, and the first thing we're going to do to make a dinosaur is roll this clay into a ball. A lot of times, no matter what you're making out of clay, it always seems to start as a ball. To make a clay ball, put the clay on the table or on your work surface and roll it by putting your hand on top and making little circles. So pushing down with your hand and making circles round and around. As you do this, the clay will start to come together. See that? But if you see cracks in the clay like that, that means it's not warmed up enough. So keep rolling. Doing a good job. Keep going. Keep going. And let's check. Oh, it's getting there, but there's still some cracks. So you got to keep going and going and going until it is nice and smooth. Let's see how we did. All right, that's very smooth, but it kind of looks like a spinning top. So we need to make these pointy ends go away by putting it in the palm of our hand and rolling it in little circles just in the palm of your hand, and that will round it out. Let's see. Looking good. Looks like a chocolate drop. Or a football. That means we need to make it a bit rounder. There we go. Now we need to make the dinosaur's tail, so we'll start by rolling on an angle. So not flat like this, but with your hand on an angle, roll back and forth. And this will flatten this side of the clay more than this side because your hand is on an angle. Back and forth. That way this part of the tail gets thinner and this part stays bigger because that will be the dinosaur's belly. Now I want to make the tail a little longer, so I'm just using one finger now. I'm rolling my way down its back to the tip of the tail until I have a nice pointy tail. That looks pretty good. So this is the belly, this is the tail, and now we need to make the head. To make the head, put your finger here. Roll it back and forth, or up and down I should say, just like before. Up and down, up and down, and up and down, up and down, up and down. Keep going in the same spot because we want to make this the belly. This will be the head. We need that neck to be thin, so we're going to just roll where the neck is. And it's starting to turn into a dinosaur already. Look at this. We have our tail, we have our neck, we have our head. The belly's a little bumpy here, so I'm just going to smooth that out with my finger. Not too much. We don't want to squish the tummy. There. Kind of looks like an alligator. So let's make it into a dinosaur by adding some legs. Move this guy over here. We'll need another piece of clay. Oh, nice clean break just like before. And we'll cut it a little smaller. We don't need that much. We'll cut this much off. You could also just break it. But it's fun to use tools. This is about how much you'll need for all 4 legs. What do we need to do to the clay before we work with it? Right, squish it. Like you're mad. And warm it up by blowing on it until it's squishy and soft and we can roll it into a ball. Alright, that's pretty squishy. How do I make it into a ball? Yes, roll it round and round. Might want to squish it into a ball shape a little bit first, and then that makes it easier to roll. Okay, little circles. Check if there's any cracks. Oh, little crack. So I'm going to smooth that out in the palm of my hand now, until I have another ball. There we go. So the first one was for the body, the second one is for the legs. To make the legs, I roll it up and down now. My whole hand, not on an angle this time, but just flat. And that will make the legs longer. See? Got a little chocolate stick. Now to cut it, I could use my clay knife, or I could use something we could find around the house. I'm just going to make that a bit longer. If you guys have toothpicks at home, they work really well for cutting too. Cut it in half with your toothpick by pushing down like this until you have 2 pieces. Now this side is a little bit bumpy, so I just smooth it out with my finger or tap it on the table. Same thing here, see that bumpy ridge there? Tap that down or tap it on the table. Now we have 2 legs. How many legs did we need? 4. So now we'll cut each one of these in half, just like we did before. There's 2 legs now, and 2 more legs. And we have 4 legs. If your work surface gets a little messy, you can just rub it with your finger to get some of that clay off of there, and then brush it out of the way. Look at that, brown stains the paper really easily. It also stains your fingers really easily. So before we do our eyes, we're going to wash our hands. There, now I'm just tapping these little funny bits down to smooth it out before we put our legs on. Smooth, smooth. And now we'll choose where they go. Okay, so this is the tummy. That's the head. So let's put the legs under the tummy. One here at the front, and then another one at the front. And then we'll put these 2 at the back, one here, and one here. And they go side by side. So 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and we have legs. There, he's lying on his back, basking in the sunshine. We'll flip him over so he can stand. He stands. But his legs aren't stuck very well, so what we'll do is we'll flip him over again and we'll just smooth it out with our finger by rubbing the clay together or tapping. Hold it down with one hand and tap or rub with the other, and that will just make that line disappear and hold the legs onto the body a bit better. We'll do the other side too. Smooth that down and smooth that down. Now the legs won't fall off when he's walking. Nobody likes that. Okay, let's see. He stands, but he can't see where he's going. So we better give him some eyes now. Now what did I need to do before I use white clay? Yes, good remembering. I need to wash my hands or wipe them on a cloth. I just have a damp cloth off to the side here, and I'm wiping my fingers so that we don't turn our eyes brown by mistake. I'm going to take a tiny piece of white clay now. Just a super tiny piece like this. Rip off a little bit. Rip off another little bit. Oh, that's too much. And then roll them in your fingers to make little circles. There's 1. There's 2. Now we'll put the eyes on. Where do you want them to go? You could do them way back here. You could do them close together at the front of the head. That looks pretty good. Maybe off to the side. You do whatever you like best. I think I like the top of the head. Looks kind of cartoony that way. Squish them on once we're happy with where they are. Hello. And now we'll give him pupils so he can see. The pupils are the little black spots in his eyes. And we need very tiny, tiny little black spots. One here, one here. There. If you want to open his mouth up, you can use a clay knife. And press it